Okay, so hello and welcome. It's 3 p.m. I think we can start. We can start our today's webinar. Today we speak um, how sports data can be monetized in professional futsal competitions. My name is Jarosław Firlej. I work as a business development manager in Statco. I'm responsible for um, talks with different sports organizations from different disciplines, not only from futsal, about our partnership cooperation with sports organizations. And thank you very much for joining today in our webinar, the last webinar in this year. I think it will have like around 20 minutes, not more. And thank you very much for joining today. Um, so I decided to start with this kind of provocative question because I think that there is something strange with futsal because a lot of sports disciplines and different competition formats are developing very rapidly right now. Not to mention, for instance, sport or different, to say, conventional sport disciplines. But I think that futsal does not occupy um, the position in sports industry that it should have. And this is also one of the things why we decided to touch this topic about in today's webinar. So um, apart from this potential and a lot of undeveloped space for new solutions for these competitions. And by new solutions, I do not mean only IT solutions, but also new ideas in terms of organizational stuff and competition format. Apart from this system solutions, also we would like to create something that would um, cooperate with our good experience in supporting futsal competitions. So far, we are partners to different sports competitions, and from futsal, those are Bet Center Futsal League, that is organized by Royal Belgian Football Association, Futsal Liga, that is organized by Football Association of the Czech Republic, and Stacko Futsal Ekstraklasa, a Polish top division futsal competition, where we are also a naming rights partner. And we wanted to do something with our experience. Therefore, today we decided to invite you for a webinar that would be that could use our experience in futsal competitions. Exactly. Yeah. So before we start speaking about different opportunities of using data in futsal, and also about monetization, I would like to explain briefly what we want to monetize, because sports data and sports statistics are such a huge topic that I think we should start with some explanation. Sports data can be used for different purposes by different sports organizations. And the first thing that probably comes to our mind is my mind is sport development in terms of tools and platforms for sports professionals. Those are very sophisticated platforms that allow user to, for instance, check detailed information in terms of players' position, right? They offer heat maps and so on and so on. While on the other hand, those sports data that we want to monetize, they that are used for commercial and fan engagement purposes, the major indicator of this group of statistics is that they are not so detailed as those that are used for by professionals, but they are we can have instant access to the statistical content, right? No one can imagine, for instance, checking result of a game on the mobile application without instant access to the statistics like shots and so on and so on. Usually they are not so detailed as the earlier group, but they can, for instance, they can make it equal in terms of being instantly accessed. It's quite obvious that those statistics that are prepared for professionals, they can be used for tactical analysis or training process by professionals, by players, by coaches, by different decision makers on the club level. Not so often on the competition level. And I would like to mention here that when preparing this webinar, I noticed that more and more platforms that usually worked only in the football, this discipline of football on the huge pitch, those platforms are already opened for futsal competition and futsal rivalization. They have included tools and platforms dedicated especially for futsal professionals to their offer, which is also a good argument for something that I will speak about later. As about for those statistics that are prepared for commercial and fan engagement purposes, those are the statistics that we want to monetize, right? They can be monetized by selling data rights, by giving some company allowance to collect statistics directly from the venues, but they can also be used as a mean to create statistical content for supporters, just to increase the attractivity of your own channels and attract more advertisers and increase your income in that way. Just a brief comment. If you have any kind of question during the course of my webinar, please do not hesitate to type them in the chat box on the right on the screen. I will try to answer them after the webinar. Yeah. So just to close this part, I would like to I would like to state that in the world of IT solutions, probably not only in the world of IT solutions that are prepared for sports industry, if something becomes more and more affordable and more accessible, and it is widely used among competitors, then it becomes a standard. And basically, this is how I think we should all see statistics. Right now, we cannot imagine any kind of sport experience in terms of professional sports without well-prepared statistical feeds. Statistics became a vital part of any kind of match experience, any kind of broadcast, or even being on at the stadium, at the stands. We can check some statistical content on our mobile devices. But how can we monetize futsal statistics? The first thing you should think of is getting yourself a data partner, because most probably results and basic statistics from your competitions are already processed somewhere in the world. And in our industry, statistics are it's just another product of your competitions, and competitions should earn on their products. They are selling by selling tickets. They are giving supporters a chance to participate in the events and create some emotions and so on and so on. And getting yourself a data partner is the only way to have control over this kind of product, over your statistics. Who is a data partner? Data partner is a company like StatScore, who is a specialized entity in collecting and processing sports statistics. In order to collect statistics from the venue, there must be a well-trained scout who will notationally type everything, every occurrence on the pitch into the dashboard, and then the statistics will be processed by our tools and sell to different agents in the business industry. By different agents, I mean, for instance, betting industry or media industry or mobile applications that we also cooperate with. And your income, additional income of your of a futsal competition will be then created by a share of an income from the selling to the different agents of betting industry from from the statistical feed that was sold from your competition to the to different customers of companies like StatScore. And I was also thinking about possible answer to the question, how can a futsal competition attract companies like StatScore or increase the attractivity of IT business among representatives of IT business to find a data partner. And I think the first step that could be done here is increase the attractivity among the betting industry representatives. I completely understand what kind of gambling connotations can this have in sports world, but also I think that we should be clear here, and we should understand that it's also a very important indicator of professionalization of the competitions, because no one will invest in futsal competition if this competition is not well organized, if the matches are cancelled, if the competitions are if this competition is organized by an unknown entity. So I believe that being visible to betting industry is also a sign that you are on a certain level of professionalization. And data providing companies, they live from contacts with betting industry, and they after being visible to betting industry, it will be very, very easy for you to get a data partner and additionally create this additional boost to your finances. Yeah, and I was also thinking about the other perspective, about the perspective of representatives of the betting industry. How I would answer the question if it is worth investing in futsal data. And I believe that this can be answered by something that I have already mentioned, that this is a huge space that still can be very, very well developed, that still lacks some development in many areas. And I mean, for a very long time there was this kind of disambiguity between organizations that are part of that are FIFA members, or in general, that was this conflict between FIFA and different types of other organizations who were organizing futsal competitions. But right now, more and more futsal competitions are claiming this professional status and are recognized by FIFA. And many of those competitions are backed by the top brands of sports industry. As I already mentioned, our partners are our futsal competitions that are our partners. They are organized by the official football federations of those countries, and it's also worth mentioning that futsal is also very interesting at a club level. I mean, the most in many cases, the very well-known teams from the football world would like to they want to have their own team in top futsal competitions of each country. It's very visible in countries like Portugal or Spain and many more. So having futsal in your offer as a representative of the betting industry, it also allows your customers to place bets on those very attractive brands that your customers know from the football world. So as for the summary, I believe that answer to the question from the title of this webinar can be given by using those three elements. I mean, in my opinion, but I think that many people will agree with me, futsal has one of the greatest development potentials among team sports. For a very long time, futsal wasn't that developed. It was developing kind of on a side from the football world. And in order to maintain the pace of the development, the organizers of the competition must open up to sports data, because as I mentioned, this is like a standard right now. It's not a novelty. It's not a luxury. Right now, statistical content is a vital part of any match experience. And a good option to maximize the benefits of using sports data is to associate with official data providers, because as I have presented, there is a mechanism of sharing the income with organizers of the futsal competitions, and this is how it works. Let me check. This would be all from my side as for the presentation. Let me check if there are any questions. No, I don't think so. If something comes to your mind, please do not hesitate to contact me on LinkedIn or by mail. I will be happy to answer all your questions regarding the topic of our today's webinar. On this occasion, I would like to wish you all the best in the upcoming year. Let's hope that we will get rid of at least some of our problems in sports industry right now. And Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for information about next webinars that will be organized by StatsCore. On March, we will of course see each other on the StatsCore Day, but we will inform you about this, giving you more details in not very distant future. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for today's attention.